SM Entertainment, the company that jump-started the new industry of K-pop in the 90s, where it set the standard and created a model of how to train, package, and debut artists in South Korea and beyond. Founder Soo Man helped set a standard in the budding industry and genre to help revolutionize how to capitalize, taking the music across the shores, and being the trendsetters for decades. The company was unfortunately shady at times and engaged in poor professional behavior, but despite the setbacks and stains, SM Entertainment still managed to be one of the leading K-pop companies for nearly 3 decades. Fast forward to today in 2024, and we now wonder what happened to the once shining company. They're fragmented, a total dumpster, where artists, producers, and even its founder have abandoned ship. What the hell happened, and what does that say about the future for them? And I'm gonna be real, we have moved way past the tea. We're in vodka territory now. Let's be real, the downfall of SM Entertainment has been years in the making. Back in 2022, I started my K-pop challenges video series, and my first video was actually on SM Entertainment. And for that specific problem that they were facing then, I identified as their creative problem. Interestingly, that's like a distant past now at this point. Funnily enough, I got hate when I came out with that video, where I basically went over about how the creative problem was more focused on all of their artists more or less sounding the same, and they weren't really having the distinct sounds that they were known for each of their artists' packaging. They were basically all sounding like NCT and that Kwangya shit, whatever, all of that, the vision was gone. It only took to 2023 where everyone jumped on that bandwagon and they all identified and shat on SM, saying that they were, lost their way when it came to music. And I'm like, hello, welcome to the bandwagon. SM in recent years has been seen as slow to adapt to the changing K-pop landscape. While it's interesting because they definitely have always been the trendsetters or kind of doing their own thing, the company as a whole was always very successful and they built a loyalty with all their fans. But when you look at it from a business standpoint of how the K-pop companies have tackled the growing online popularity of K-pop across the world, SM has kind of fallen behind in how it's handled its online presence for the newer groups, the international markets, and not capitalizing on the importance of touring compared to their competitors. Touring around the world, especially in the US, that's a moneymaker, and SM has barely even tapped into that. Except when it came to Super M and NCT, but, the rest of them, it's like Japan, and then back in the dungeon, and then come back in Korea. It's basically been a weird cycle, and, a lot of us are just over it. I wanted SHINee to come back. Why hasn't SHINee come back to the US? I don't think you understand how much I've wanted BoA to come back here, even if it was just like, a club. I don't care. I would have flown my ass to see her. So what if it was in a BDSM dungeon? It was fine, I got to see my queen. But yeah, more on BoA later. But the creative thing and just the capitalizing on the international popularity of K-pop is really the least of its problems at this point. We move on to 2023, and things were brewing internally when it came to the founder and the then CEO at the time. It basically boiled down to that Soo Man, the founder, was being, pushed out to, being told to ride off in the sunset, and he wasn't having any of that. So he was basically wanting to sell his shares to HYBE Corporation, BTS's company. And the CEO was like, "Nuh-uh, we want to sell our shares to Kakao because they're up and coming." And mind you, the CEO was Nepo Baby, the nephew of the founder, so it just was, a gay soap opera. The two had it out in the public space where they were just sharing each other's dirty laundry. It just was really messy. But it picked up in international news spaces. We were all eating that shit up. Soo Man's dirty deeds were being aired out into the public space about being accused of unfair business practices and trying to retain control after stepping down. It just was a messy legal battle with accusations flying from both sides. The then CEO, Nepo baby Lee Sung Soo, was basically taken to the YouTube channel of SM Entertainment to air the dirty laundry of everything and trying to point fingers and saying it was a hostile takeover. Again, fans were eating that shit up. In the end, Soo Man was basically out, and the HYBE Corporation ended up actually selling its shares back to Kakao Entertainment and made a profit off of that entire deal. And then Nepo Baby was, shown the door, and then we fast forward to today, and HYBE Corporation is back in the picture, and Soo Man sold the rest of his shares to HYBE Corporation, where you now have two of the biggest and largest K-pop conglomerates having their hand in what was one of the largest and most influential K-pop company in the industry. Sad to say, when you look at it, corporate greed has now taken over. Capitalism, baby, you gotta appease the shareholders. Who gives a shit about the creative freedoms and the music that comes from these businesses? It is all about the money. Oh, the well-being of the employees? Oh yeah, we don't care about that either. And that basically brings us to the next major and most important recent point that is causing the downfall of this once beloved company. And what has taken over the headlines in recent weeks in regards to SM Entertainment is the artist treatment. To the surprise of many, including myself, so many beloved artists and producers that were long-standing loyalists within the company are slowly leaving over the last few months. Since Soo Man's tumultuous departure last year, the following artists have left SM Entertainment: EXO's Baekhyun, EXO's Chen, EXO's Dio, EXO's Xiumin, Girls' Generation SHINee, SHINee's Onew, SHINee's Taemin, Super Junior's Donghae, Super Junior's Eunhyuk, Super Junior's Kyuhyun, and legendary producer Yoo Young-jin. And that's not including the ones that are basically marking their calendars until their contract ends. That really says something. It's not even just the artists that are having a mass exodus. There's also been reports about a lot of employees leaving at once, too. It really says something that they're all wanting to get the hell out. Some of them have even cited about how BoA's treatment has caused them to also want to leave on their own accord. To see also now, literally in the last day or so, SM tried to course correct and come out with a statement to say that they're going to take legal action is almost laughable because, let's be real, who here has seen SM actually take legal action for malicious attacks online? Not ever. Watch, I say this, and then tomorrow I'm going to be served with a cease and desist on this video from SM Entertainment and a lawsuit from them, so we'll see how that goes. First of all, I'm poor. I really have nothing to give. You would just be wasting your time with me, honey. Focus on more important matters. Don't come after me. I mean, when you really look at it, the person that had you stay for all these years, who was your rock, has been unceremoniously shown the door. It's kind of like, why stick around? Especially when you have capitalism running amok throughout the whole place, where they want to trim the fat and look into how things can build more revenue at the expense of artists and employee treatment. I think it's time to abandon ship. But that's not to say that for so many years, fans and some former artists of the company have criticized SM for how they handle their talent. And this includes concerns about overworked artists, lack of promotion for certain groups, and unfair treatment of the foreign members. But that exact criticism is not new. That's been around for more than a decade, unfortunately. Refer to the lawsuits of, JYJ and Hongin and, the Chinese members of EXO. Oh, just start there. In other news, water is wet. And really what brings me to the inspiration of this entire video is seeing my beloved alt, BoA, take to Instagram and her social media expressing her own concern of the company. If you didn't know, BoA is the entire reason why I got into K-pop. She is the entire reason why I moved to South Korea back over 10 years ago. She is my everything. She is the one that started it all, and she is the queen. And all of you need to bow down to her and thank her for what she has contributed for this industry and what she has carried on her back at like 5'2", little tiny woman. But to see her posts in recent weeks has been truly heartbreaking. And it really goes to show that the mental health that's even taking on her when you have BoA, who is the director in the company, one of the highest ranking members and basically a walking business, who doesn't even need to work. And for her to say that she's ready to leave and retire and get the fuck out, that says a lot. She's already marking her calendar for the end of 2025. That was not on any of our bingo cards, at least not mine. But I also need to address one more thing. To all the new fans that are out there getting into K-pop, it is not okay for you to sit there and attack older generations of K-pop artists that have had contributed to this industry in so many ways, in one way or another. To sit there and trash and belittle and take a toll on someone's mental health because you think that they are no longer quote-unquote relevant? Targeting a celebrity, or anyone for that matter, with online attacks is not okay. Words have weight, even for those in the public eye. These constant barbs can have a devastating impact on their mental health, just like it would on anyone else. Just because someone isn't at the peak of their career doesn't make them immune to pain. This generation's tendency to hurl negativity from behind a keyboard needs a serious reality check. Let's hold each other accountable for online discourse and treatment of musicians, or anyone for that matter, with respect. At the end of the day, we are all human, and if you find it to be hurtful to be even directed at you, think about how those words can have an impact on someone else. And that's pretty much where we're at with SM Entertainment right now. They are a total hot dumpster fire mess right now. Share below in the comments your thoughts on the entire SM saga and what you think about all of this. I'd love to hear your thoughts and see if there's anything else I might have missed. And while you're at it, why don't you also share positive things about how they may have had an impact on you as a K-pop fan. And also, while you're at it, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons for me if you enjoyed this video, if you'd like me to give more hot takes on things. Thank you all so much for watching. Also, do not forget to check out many more of my videos while you're here, and I shall see you next time.